my name is Melissa Hurt, and I am here to talk to the moms about another condition that you do not have to accept postpartum. A weak core. Nope, you don't have to accept that one. You can strengthen your core, but first we need to understand what muscles make up the core. Now, if you think that the core is just in the front of the body, or if you think you get a strong core by doing sit-ups, please look for my video on diastasis recti to learn about the rectus abdominal muscles. Sit-ups really just get to that. They might also strengthen our hip flexor muscles, but that's not really why you're doing the sit-ups, is to strengthen those necessarily. The core muscles are actually a system of muscles in the front, sides, back, top, bottom. I even consider the inner thighs and the feet part of the core. But specifically, we're going to talk about, let's consider this like a cylinder, okay? The top of the cylinder of the core is your breathing diaphragm. Yes, that means that your breath is an integral part of your core. So your breathing diaphragm muscle. Just below that, at the bottom of the cylinder, is your pelvic floor muscles. Please see my video on pelvic floor rehabilitation to learn more about those muscles. So the breathing diaphragm and the pelvic floor diaphragms work together. So as you inhale, the breathing diaphragm descends, so too does the pelvic floor. As you exhale, the breathing diaphragm ascends, and so too does the pelvic floor. So they dance together, okay? Now we have in the front of the cylinder, if you will, the transverse abdominis muscle. It's a hugger muscle, meaning it hugs in towards your core. As you breathe, it helps to stabilize the body as we take on load. We have on the sides of the core the oblique muscles, internal and external obliques. And then in the back, we have the multifidus. It goes all the way down the spine. It's a system of muscles that connects to the vertebrae, and it, again, helps to stabilize the spine as we move. So all of these muscles work together to stabilize you and the core. And so as we strengthen the core, and really I prefer stabilize the core, we need to keep it flexible because muscles are elastic by nature, and they need to be able to move and respond to our breath and to various types of movement. So now let's get real, moms. We know that we are moving all the time. All the time we're squatting, we're lifting, we're carrying, we're picking up, we're putting down, we're twisting. Oh my gosh, we are doing so much, and not to even mention carrying the load of a diaper bag, your purse, sometimes the car seat, all these things. So it's really important to understand how the core can support your daily life so you're healthy and well and vibrant. All right, so now what I'm going to share with you now are some exercises that you can do every day to safely rehabilitate your core. Now note, I'm going to put it straight out right now. Typically, pre-pregnancy, you would be doing plank pose to strengthen your core. There is nothing wrong with plank pose, it's great. But postpartum, I do not recommend it because it puts a lot of pressure in the front line of the body. And if you have diastasis recti, again, you can find that video to see what I mean, you have that separation of the rectus abdominal muscles, and when you're in plank pose, and I'll just demonstrate so you know what I'm talking about, when you're holding a plank, you may find a coning or like a triangular plate or a bulge coming out of your abdomen. Well, sister, that's a bulge coming through and a diastasis recti, so you don't want to make that worse, which is why I don't do planks postpartum. Wait at least a year after you've had your baby to start putting those back into your wellness, fitness regimen. There are other ways to strengthen your core in a healthy, safe, appropriate way. Now the first one is staff pose in yoga. I always recommend sitting on a nice, firm, folded blanket. You could also use a sofa cushion, or a pillow rather, to sit on that. As you sit with your sitting bones at the bottom knobs of your pelvis, just ahead of the edge of the folded side of your blanket, you will notice that your low back recaptures the integrity of its curve, right? So your sitting bones are right underneath the top ridge of the pelvis. Please use your hands to feel these landmarks of the pelvis. It's really important to know where your bones are because you have muscles attaching there, and if you're rehabilitating yourself to get stronger, you need to know what you're doing and what you're working with. So sitting with my feet out in front of me, my legs are long. Notice that I am flexing my feet. I'm not just loosey-goosey. You can see on the bottom of the screen. My feet are not loosey-goosey, just hanging out. I'm active in my feet as if I'm standing on something. That's going to activate the inner fascial line of my legs, which then connects to the pelvic floor and works its way up to the midline of the body. So sitting tall, I have my hands on either side of me, sitting up nice and long. I have a nice optimal alignment of my low ribs, knitted in, top of the ribs are lengthening up. My shoulders are over my hips. And I'll do a side view so you can see, but I want to show you from the front that there's a nice long line of integrity all the way through the crown of my head down through my tailbone and even through the center of the pelvic floor. As I sit here and as I breathe, I can feel these deep core muscles activating in and up to support this alignment. I'm breathing naturally. I'm not holding my breath. So this is staff pose. Now I'll show you from the side so you can see how it looks. I'll fix my blanket. Sitting on the edge of my blanket, and then you can see I've got a nice line here of the low back. If I'm slumping, that's not doing me any favors. It's also exacerbating any diastasis recti if I have it, making that little slouch open up that separation. So again, I'm going to sit up nice and tall. Again, my feet are active, so my legs are strong. Hands are at the other side of the body, sitting up nice and tall. Low ribs are knit in, so I'm not sticking my ribs out to make myself feel like I'm sitting tall. I'm knitting them in and sitting up tall. Just breathing naturally again. If you want, a good idea is to add the breathing practice that we explored in the diastasis recti video, the birthday candle breath. So just to review, inhale, exhale a focused stream 6 feet away like there's a birthday candle there. You could do that maybe up to 10 times if you wanted to. And then once you're done, let's bend the knees and we'll come onto hands and knees. So you could do staff pose anytime you're sitting on the floor, anytime. If you're playing a board game, you could sit in staff pose in between your go, reading a book with your child or with the child next to you or on your lap. If you're nursing, please put a nursing pillow on your lap or a nice cushion. Place your baby on top of that and bring the baby to the breast while you sit in staff pose. And you can still be engaging your core and safely rehabilitating your core muscles. So now we're going to come onto hands and knees, coming into table pose. So I always spread my fingers wide, engaging through the bones just beneath the fingers and the palm, and also lengthening through the fingertip pads so I can engage that tunnel, the carpal tunnel of my wrist, keep that integrity intact. My knees are under my hips. Now it's very tempting to just sag. I'm sagging in the upper back, I'm sagging in the belly. Again, that's doing me no favors. So as I tell my prenatal students, and it's the same kind of cue postnatal, act as if you're hugging your baby to your spine. So hug yourself. So just draw in the navel just a bit. I'm not sucking in my belly. I'm just drawing in to bring length to my spine. I'm floating through the crown of my head forwards, engaging my shoulders. So I have a nice long line of energy. I could do the birthday candle breath from here. If you had your baby with you, baby would be right here, okay? You can blow on your baby. If your baby's grown, it's okay. Do this while they're in preschool or while they're at cooler away. This is just a good practice for any time during motherhood. So keeping the spine nice and long, we'll breathe in and do your birthday candle breath. One more time, breathe in, birthday candle breath. So now I'm going to add some cat-cows. So I'll arch the spine and then inhale, lengthen. I don't need to go very deep. I'm mainly focusing the cow pose in my upper back. And just find some arching and rounding of the spine. This is because we also want to find release in the core muscles so that they're flexible and elastic. After doing maybe 5 to 8 of those cat-cow vinyasas, I'm going to go into what I call bird dog. It's also called hunting dog by some people. So I'm going to bring out my left leg, keep my toes on the ground, make sure I'm not sagging or sticking my tailbone out. Keep that integrity of the spine, keeping my left shoulder blade kind of hugging in towards the ribs, and then I'm going to bring out my right arm. Keep that there. If I feel pretty strong and stable here, I can lift up the leg. And I'm just going to keep that there for maybe 3 to 5 easy breaths. And there's 3. So I'll bring those down. And now I'm going to bring out the right leg. Again, find your stability. Bring out the left arm. If I feel pretty steady here, I can bring up the leg. Feel the breath. About 3 breaths. And then bring it down. So you'll go through these. Don't have to rush them, but you want to feel that as you move, you're keeping the integrity of your spine intact. You're not sagging, keeping those lower ribs knit in towards the midline. Keep a sense of length from the crown of the head all the way through the tailbone. And what you're doing is strengthening really all sides of the core because you're balancing, which will activate the transverse abdominis muscles. You're definitely strengthening the multifidus in the back. Your oblique muscles are also stabilizing a bit. And if you have a nice strong breathing practice happening with this, as I recommend, the thoracic diaphragm and the pelvic floor will be working together as well. It's getting all around core strength. Okay, so those are some simple practices you can do every day to get in touch with your core. If you like this video, please subscribe to my channel. Please share this video with anyone you know who might want some new ideas on how to safely engage the core and strengthen it. You can comment below any questions or ideas you have about what you found out in this video or what you explored. And please opt in for my newsletter through melissahurt.com. I send all kinds of nice tips every month. Only 1 email a month is basically what you'll get from me. Maybe 2 if I have something special in plan for you all. And so that's it. If you liked this video, if you found some really useful tips for strengthening and stabilizing your core through safe and appropriate practices, you can subscribe to my channel. Please comment below, let me know what you thought about this practice. Also share with me any ideas you have on what I can bring to you, because I'm here to serve you and I have all kinds of ideas for how to rehabilitate women to feel really great and dynamic through motherhood. You can share this video with your friends and family. Opt in for my monthly newsletter at melissahurt.com. You'll get a nice freebie from me when you do so. And there's a blog post listed below that you can explore to find more ideas about the core that you can also share with your friends and family. Thanks so much. Be well.